What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. The journey is over. The destination was clear. XGS Rite of Passage Grand Finals. And tonight we crown the kings. I'm the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, Mr. Whiskey Run. What's up, Whiskey?
That's right. Welcome back, everyone, at the XGS Rite of Passage Grand Final. You said it, my friend. We saw this league back July 21st, round 2. Zen Black played the Rainbow Rejects on this channel. We get to see them one more time, potentially the final time here in XGS. Are they going to move on? Is this going to be the game where they win it all? They're going to take on the Freezer. And this is a good team, a good cross-section of players that have battled it out. 42 teams started the Rite of Passage a couple months ago at this point, and they're ready to find out who is going to be the winner. I'm really looking forward to this one, man.
Oh man, me too. A best of 3 to settle the score, one to claim it all. And if it's, any indication of like some of the games we were bringing yesterday, man, I'm hoping that this is an absolute barn burner. Couple of familiar names on these rosters there, Mr. Run.
Yeah, that's right. Vertzi, Ponzo, Kiwi, Jabba, and Ymir. And Kiwi was having some trouble. I thought we might get to see Camo playing tonight for the Zen Black team, but you know what? It's a game time decision when it comes down to the power. And this Zen Black team, they didn't drop a single map in the XGS Rite of Passage playoffs. They have been perfect up until this point. And honestly, on paper, Liquipedia, this looks like the better team, but they still have to beat the Freezer, Frozen. Yep, and his squad, they only lost one map, and that was to F5 Esports, one of our favorite teams, a great group of guys, but the Freezer, and they managed to take down the rest of their opponents. But Zen Black is going to put up a hell of a fight tonight.
Yeah, so, and I guess kind of got to figure out where exactly we're going for this battle, see if it's going to be some of those favored maps that both of these teams seem to love. Run early on, you can see Chalet and Consulate off the board, Cafe and Night Haven to follow, which means, and man, I'm happy about this one, our first map of the day will be Lair. It will be followed up with Bank. You can see Border and Skyscraper coming off, and Skyscraper made it kind of deep there, Run, like all the way to the very end of it. It was close, but instead, we go back to the basics and take on Clubhouse.
I honestly, you said it. Super happy that we're getting to see Lair and Bank, two of my favorite maps. We don't get to see Chalet banned out very early by the Zen Black team, but man, I was definitely worried during that ban phase. Were we going to see Skyscraper? You know what? Honestly, if we gotten into year 10, we hardly ever see this map as a part of the competitive landscape. It seems like teams generally just avoiding it. I think because of the new ban system, it really makes this map difficult to play. But the good news is, my friend, it is time for Lair.
Let's go. Not one we've got to see too often here on the double shot. Lair, it's a fun map. It's huge. I know back in the Challenger Series, we watched, this is when we watched Stompin get that ace up on the second floor, trying to solidify his early run, trying to make it into Pro League. This is a fun map, Run. There is a ton of variety to it. There's a ton of ways that you can attack it. There's some really devilish little extensions going on, and we're going to see the story getting played out by the bands right away. Clash and Ying, the first to go.
Well, I just gotta say thank you very much for the T1 gifted, Lambo. Much appreciated for being a part of this community and honestly hosting me when we made the trip down south. So much appreciated, and I'm glad that everyone is here tonight to see the XGS Rite of Passage Grand Final. And when we look at the lineup here in the bands, a little bit different than we saw last night, a combination of shields and the area denial. Interesting, we didn't see a smoke or Ying ban one time in 3 maps yesterday. Completely changed up the lineup, my friend.
Man, I can't even tell you the last time I saw a smoke ban, but it's such a good play, right? We've talked about this a couple of different times, that the area denial operators, Smoke, Goyo, Tachanka, they can be absolutely devastating at stopping any sort of momentum that you've got coming into sight. Even when you claim that early body balance, that early man advantage, you just can't get down in there because they're just holding it off. This time, no smoke for that. And Lair, man, Lair
Yeah, such a good operator here to be able to clear out, guard some of that space. But interesting, they're going to start off in the basement here. We've really seen teams latch onto that second floor as the main place they want to start. But you know what? Freezer says, let's go for the basement, and then spend an awful lot of time setting up upstairs. Hold on to this first floor. You can see 3 of the 4 operators on the orange side, or 3 of the 5, all piled up there, holding on to that first floor. We'll see how quickly do they rotate back down, and how quickly is Zen Black going to work on clearing this from the top down.
Yeah, something kind of like we see on Night Haven, right? When they're doing that first floor hold, a lot of investment into the vertical, and here's going to be no different. And a zombie's on here. That's a site redefining operator. And because that verticality can suffocate the defense, it's important to hold on up top as long as you can. That's why we've got 3 on the first floor, and all the way up playing spoiler and lurker. It's going to be Ella on the second.
Yeah, watching on, holding, looking, holding these stairs, and right now, you can see all of those orange outlines sort of clustered over on the other side of the map, but even more clustered, this Zen Black team starting, working to open up some sight lines, using that ace, and there's that first engagement happened, but it is the Freezer that wins the battle. Poncho goes down.
That's right. Huge first play as they get Dokkaebi off the board, which means no phone calls. Ymir's able to answer back as the body balance gets tied up. Find themselves with some disorientation going on as they're trying to get those key barriers down, make it a little bit easier to get into sight, and he's going to do it. Deimos with the pistol going to be looking towards the back end. Ymir's going to find Silo off the board, so man advantage now in a heavy way sits inside the defenders.
Yeah, look at this tight angle here. Ymir is holding on to, just waiting, watching who's going to make that first push through. Larry and Barry both changed up their names late in this round. They just wanted to cause us a little bit of chaos because Barry is Vertzi, Larry is Jabba, just in case you were wondering.
Larry and Barry, that's going to be fun all night long. 3v1. Something we saw quite a few times in the last. A quick headshot as Ymir is able to find one, get a little bit closer to solidifying the body balance. Now this is all happening up on the first floor. Still do have Frozen down below that you're going to have to deal with once this Goyo is dispatched. Have to get the diffuser and then start to make a push. It's 36 seconds left on the board to try and get active. A little bit of sound cover up here as the Ram drones are going to start making a ton of noise. Couple flashes, missed the hatch drop, made it down in it. So now you still have to contend with the vertical. Not necessarily sure if he knows that it's up there. He actually doesn't know where any of them are. And with 13 seconds left, feels like we might be able to start to call this first round in the hands of the defense. Finds one. Ymir gonna be on a bit of a tear. He's gonna be on pace for the ace here. I think, yeah, 4 kills. He needs to find it.
He gets it!
Round 1. Ymir just gonna absolutely dominate. Find every single player. Oh,
yo.
What a way to start us out, Run.
Yo, no way. How does he freaking pull that off on round one? You know what? Lair is the ace map. We saw this during Challenger Series twice. Teams picked up Lair on the opening round, an ace. Unbelievable that we get to see it again, man. The man is on fire. Zen Black on attack. You said it. 5 seconds before the end of that round, the Freezer, the defense was going to win that. He was in a 2v1 scenario, didn't know where the defense was, searching the map and managed to find both to complete the ace. That was a hell of a round. Not very, I wouldn't say strategic at this point. It felt like he was wasting his utility using those boogies up on top just to cause a little bit of chaos so late in the round, but man, he pulled it off.
Huge first play and a statement. He says, body balance be damned, time be damned. I'm just gonna go in and kill everybody. A dynamic way to start it. Very clean, very clinical. An ace to get us going, Run. That's fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, all right. It says that we said early on that this was the better team on paper, but the Freezer, chip on their shoulder, does not want to let that stand and try and take down the Zen Black team. And I talked about it earlier. We saw them in round 2. Got to watch them play the Rainbow Rejects, and they picked up that best of 3 into dominant fashion. Like we said, didn't drop a single map in the playoffs. So definitely the team to beat. And boy, what a way to start this grand final off on Lair.
Okay, so now we're going to take it up a little bit, and there's going to be a real attention to holding on to the hard breach this time, to the main breach walls, both Cade and Bandit. Going to try to slow that process down, and it's a good thing you brought both, right? Because this is one of the sites we were talking about that has so much versatility. There are so many places that could get opened up to put pressure onto this defense. So having a bit of both, not a bad call here.
Yeah, and honestly, we're going to see how the pace of this thing evens out. Which team is going to be holding that, driving the pace? Is it going to be the defense? Is it going to be the offense? Freezer looked like this order were hanging back, allowed Zen Black to push in. And again, all that action happening on the first floor on that previous map, or on that previous round. In this case right now, for sure, a lot of action happening upstairs, but the Bandit battery... Oh, that was an interesting one. He lost the Bandit battery, but was able to pull off the trick and got rid of the ace charge?
Yeah, put it down. Right as he put it down, it got shot as well. So he was able to pull it off in time, and now still has a couple to play with, too, to try to hold off both sides of this. And you know what? It's working.
Yeah, they're going to try to play the vertical from down below. We typically say, right, if you can have a team that plays the vertical well, that's the team that's going to win these rounds. But right now, it just feels like he's got the whole operational side a little bit blocked off, not really allowing much entry in. But that's slowly changing as this attacking team opening up some of the sight lines and then, oh no, losing the battle on the stairs for this final 45 seconds.
So, man advantage is into the hands of Zen Black as the Zen's gadget starts to go out, obscuring the view as they take a little bit more space, and now they've started to make their way inside. Silo's able to find Poncho off the board, and that's the equalizer on the body balance. They're still heavy up onto the door. Fenrir gadget's going off. They've made their way into sight, and they're going to find it. Barry goes down. Now man advantage into the hands of the defense. Hold up onto the desk. Going to look for a double swing, but they're feeding him one at a time. So you know what? The man's going to eat. Pulls out a Deagle to start to try to contest it.
What a C4.
C4 going to find him.
All right, Dami in the chat's calling out a 7-1 Freezer victory. After coming off the Ymir ace, I wasn't sure that was going to be the case, but man, the Freezer answered back in a big way. Of course, you saw Silo playing behind the desk, the infamous desk upstairs on that second floor in the mask room, and just dominating the Zen Black attackers as they tried to push in. You said it, one at a time. So a couple mistakes on both sides of the map. Teams taking advantage of that. We're going to go back downstairs to the basement one more time.
Need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, and of course we're going to see the Architect Azami back on the board. I'm wondering if maybe we don't see that as being that potential third band, because, I mean, she has just been absolutely incredible at redefining the site and how you can push to take them off the board. And with that Keep barrier, just able to hold an entire half of site by herself. They're going to bring it back again here. We're down into the basement. A little bit of intel as well as Valkyrie's on the board. Other than that, it's business as usual for the Freezer.
It's interesting that the Freezer from the defending side chose, they didn't go and ban any of the hard breach. So, right, Ace is going to be a big piece of this. Ram for the vertical play. I wondered whether or not we'd see either of those operators. But the operator that is, I guess, conspicuously absent at this point, we're not seeing any of the Deimos. This is one of those maps where he really shines, really excels, and that'll play into this vertical game, whether or not Zen Black is going to take advantage of it. They saw a couple spots, a couple opportunities there to try and take out and use the vertical against this Freezer defense, but not able to really convert that into a serious advantage yet at this point.
So time to take a look on the defense. Brava brought along plenty of gadgets that she can swoop up. Defaults, Valkyries, some of those Banshees. One thing it can do is provide some very unique intel. The zombie who sits waiting. They've got a ping on it, so they know the location, know that this needs to be a split. You can't feed a zombie 1v1 fights with those two barriers So, time to approach this one with the power of friendship. Sees a sliver of a person down the way. Now has made himself up, and there it is. Azami taken off the board, looking for a second down the hallway. Not going to find it. Larry gets taken down, and the body balance is equalized.
Yeah, that was huge. Surgical strike there to make sure that they got Raki off the board. We're sitting at 5-1 before being eliminated here just through 2 rounds. So that was a hell of a nice way to start this round off from this Zen Black side. Hunting down, but then losing that momentum. They're down in a 3v4 already. Half this round gone at this point, and it feels like it's slowed down. They got that major piece of the puzzle defensively gone, but haven't really turned that into a little bit of momentum at this point. So you can see, look at that, all of the orange outlines, they were piled up on those yellows there, just waiting, baiting the Zen Black team in.
And now stuck between a rock and a hard place, out of the frying pan and into the fire. Can't get back to the side as the Goyo charges goes off, which means we're going to be playing life at the top of the stairs. Defense holds on to the man advantage. There's just over 60 left in this round to try to get it done. A couple of flashes. It's going to start making their way up. This defense, too many layers to fight through at the moment. Got to find one to equalize. Health advantage also. His Rem's been taken down to a pretty low health.
Oh,
Sal's
okay.
gonna find Kiwi off the board, and that's gonna, unfortunate, that's gonna double down on that body balance. Shots towards the back stairs as now they can push these power positions. They don't have to throw a bodies run. They just gotta hold control.
Hell yeah, they got plenty of time to do it here. 25 seconds, right? They've wasted, this defense has wasted as much time as they possibly could. And now Zen and Black in a serious problem for that final 18 seconds. It's going to be Silo to pick up that final kill, but man, it just it sort of fell apart there for the attacking team. Dami's prediction, that 7-1, is looking like an interesting one early on in this chat.
Okay. 2 to the defense, although not really surprised there, right? It's Lair, it's defense. Usually we see the Tersh might be going the way towards the attacker side, so 2-1 feels all right.
Yeah, honestly, not a bad place to be on the freezer side. So now they're going to play that tertiary site. They're not going to go back, or can't go back to that second floor yet. So they're going to try the bunks side. So we know from watching this one, there's going to be a ton of focus there on the R6 room upstairs, holding onto that second floor. And they were doing a pretty decent job of holding the vertical, even when losing Raki upstairs on that first floor from a basement defense. I imagine we're going to see very similar setup. They're not going to utilize the Azami this time, instead opting for the Mira. And honestly, not a bad call to change this up. And you can see, look at that. 3 of those operators are hopping right into R6. Big focus here for the defense.
One of the fun adaptations we're seeing here run is they're bringing out a switch up of the lineup. Yeah, not bringing the Cadal on this time. Instead, it's going to be Bandit and Mute to get the job done of holding on to some of those breaches, denying some of that intel. But the fun operator, I see Solus on the board. She's bringing along that shotgun.
Yeah, honestly, I love that change up here from Frozen, bringing out the Mute. We saw Zen Black utilize a couple of the drone operators, right? A combination of the Twitch and the Brava on the previous round. So deny some of that intel, limit their effectiveness. That's honestly a great call at this point. And there's that opening engagement already starting to take a couple shots with Kiwi. Sort of, taking that early shot, and there it is. It's going to be the self-breaching machine to open up that main breach wall. It's a definite focus there for the attackers.
That's right. Rite would bring a recruit to the table. Well, for that exact reason, pressure now can be put on from the main breach. One of the cuts is set. Nobody paid the price for it yet, but Bandit's still close to the breach. Couple of C4s in hands of the defense. Starting to make their way back towards the vertical section above site. Look at that. Saw a piece of him. Took a quick couple of shots, but he's still fine after that engagement.
Yeah, just again, moving slowly this first minute of gameplay. There's been a couple of the quick engagements at this point, but Poncho lurking with the Nook. But man, the defense has got his number ready and waiting. I think they thought Poncho had an opportunity there, and the defense absolutely knew exactly where he was. Unfortunate to pull out the shotgun to take the long-range fight, and the attacker wins that battle and gives the defense their first loss here on this round.
Yeah, but double it up. You know, we've got 2 on the side of the attack that go down, looking towards a potential third. They've got a couple of cuts set. The defense is playing the stall game, right? Bait, bleed them out, bleed the clock down. It's 1:16. Barry's going to take one. That's going to be the equalizer. Now get a little bit closer to put themselves in position to get an execute. You can see those blue shapes moving. They're close, and now that the drone is there, they've got the intel that somebody's close. Solo's going to be isolated.
There's a ton of time left here, and honestly, the Zen Black team needs to move faster. You still have got all 3 of the defenders upstairs on the 2nd floor to completely cover the plant. You cannot make the push in without gaining some of this space. Man, SMG 11 takes one down, and with that final 40 seconds, it is a 1v3. You know what? A OV3 once again.
Every drone, every push, absolutely denied. You shall not pass. The defense holding on. They take it 3-1. And there it is. Forgot. Yeah, that zombie band did go through. So might make a little bit of a difference coming up.
Yeah, taking a zombie off the board there makes it a little bit more difficult or easier here for the attackers to make the push in, but it seems like losing the ace has made a bigger loss there for the attackers. After the individual heroics of Ymir, really the Zen Black team has struggled to get anything going. The Freezer looks absolutely locked in here on their defense, and this is a Zen Black map pick. Right? We knew that they were going to start, or they knew they were going to start here on the attack, so they're going to have to fight just a little bit harder here to start off on this side of the map, but honestly expected them maybe to come in swing a little bit harder, because you take a look at this kill line. Yeah, we've seen Jabba pick up some. Yeah, we've seen Vertzi pick up some, but it has been that Ymir ace is really the only thing that the Zen Black team has been able to pull off of significance to the game so far.
Yeah, they've been doing a wonderful job of baiting into that crossfire, right? A trap well laid and a push well punished. They're finding and isolating ones, and it's working out, putting themselves into some devilish little positions. That 1vx scenario, which is just a terrifying situation to be in, continuing the pattern of last night, right? 1v3, 1 attacker, 3 defenders. What in the world do you even do?
Well, it didn't work out, and really no suggestion at this point, except for try and not get into that position to start with. So what's this Zen Black team going to do? Okay, changing up the Heart Breach, they're going to bring out the Thermite instead, and honestly, I like Poncho's pick here on the glass. Rather than try and sneak around with the Nook, change up this strategy, bring a couple of DMRs to this battle, and then Barry running the shield as well. Right, we've got Vertzi going to try his hand, and unfortunate there that Dokkaebi goes down. Now, the roam clear lost. Oh, no, going to be recovered. Thank goodness.
Yep, still poised on the door, though, looking to take a second look towards Larry, who's going to put his head up. Is he going to be, yep, he's going to be taken off the board for that. Hubris shown to peek twice, and he pays for it. Kiwi's going to take Silo. The body balance is going to get equalized, and the first minute of this round done and dusted.
Oh, yeah, huge mistake there. Unfortunate to try and push in. And right now, Raki is absolutely on fire. 8-2, doing it with the explosives, running the Vector, and just completely shutting down this attacking team. So is he going to be able to take down the Blackbeard as well? No. Going to walk back, retreat, reload, and re-engage. With 1:20 left on the clock, Zen Black has got their work cut out for them. They don't feel like they've really been able to gain appreciable map control at this point. They're still trying to gain a couple power positions, and the defenders still have utility left in pocket ready to go. You still have got a pocket Cade Claw and one more C4 as long as Cade stays alive.
Yeah, attack starting to chisel away at the defenses. We are, of course, tied up 3-3, but this is a hold carved in stone. 3 crossfires set up, 3 people about to enter the door. This is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Smoke comes out as the Dream starts. A C4.
No way!
That Dream with a 3-piece nightmare incoming.
The C4 from downtown. Oh, the Freezer is absolutely locked in, on fire, and it doesn't matter what way they're taking down this Zen Black team. They're pulling it off in every way possible, and what a huge C4, man. Somebody clip that one, because unbelievable shot Fantastic play by the Freezer. Zen Black just stacked themselves up on a single doorway, completely avoided the operational side of the map, didn't have a split push at all, nothing to distract the defenders, and they absolutely punished them for it. So now we've seen the complete round rotate, wins on the second floor twice, tertiary site as well. We're going to go to the basement. The only place we saw any sort of life come out from this Zen Black team was the attack on the basement, but are they going to play the tertiary first?
Not all hope's lost, right? 4-1. It has been looking decisively in favor of the Freezer. But 4-2 on the split going into your defense, I mean, I'm not mad at it, right? If I'm the attack team, I just need to find this round, gain a little momentum before the side swap. We're feeling a little bit better. The problem is, it's intel gained and denied on the side of the defense. Doubled up on the cams. And the mute for the intel deny and a little bit of area. I mean, this is a pace-setting defense here.
Gab says, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, are we doing? Damn, great question, my friend. What are we doing? Zen Black, all right, this is the time to turn it around. Glitter said it, all right? It's not the end of the world. A 4-2 half is what we'd expect coming into Lair, but, man, they have got to show us some signs of life at this point. Nothing going so far, and don't lose that early engagement. And right now, the Freezer just putting pressure in the right place in the right way. They're not taking crazy chances. They're just punishing Zen Black for their mistakes.
That's absolutely right. So first minute's almost done as the drones are getting in. They're taking some of that space. Everybody now inside, outside of Ash, who still sits droning in some of the folks. Taking up some of that space. He was going to find the first. The body balance going to back into the hands of Zen Black, which is something we've seen before, right? They keep claiming that man advantage, but holding on to it proves to be a little bit more difficult. Defenders will try to squeeze them back out of sight. They're going to need one to equalize. Opened up onto the half wall, a couple of shots, just pre-fires into Doomsville. Doesn't really find much damage, but enough. They're going to back off from it for a little bit.
I mean, honestly, losing Kobe at this point, you still have got all the Goyo canisters down, all of that utility still in play, and then Raki continues this dominance, 9-2-2. All right, they've evened it up, though, getting to a 3v4 here with that final minute 10 left on the round as it starts to tick down. Kiwi's used up all of those breach charges, but right now, we keep saying it, Vertsy here, still got some of those breach charges left, but boy, they have absolutely slowed this attack down. They're like waiting right now for Jabba to get in position. He's taking his sweet time, though.
Yeah, well, kind of been just being that intel, and it's working out, right? Kiwi's going to find Silo off the board. Now they start side of side, a quick pre-fire in. Kiwi's going to find another one. Now it's going to be the hero of the last couple of rounds, the only alive, but he's going to get wiped off the board. 4-2 half run. I ain't mad at it if I'm a Zen Black fan.
No, and you know what? We said, talking about showing some signs of life. The basement was the place to do it, the only spot that they were able to pull it off. And they did it twice, first on round 1 and then on round 6. The Freezer absolutely dominated the middle of the first half of this game. It is a best-of-3 grand final coming in, so we've got 3 maps on tap. Lair, Bank, and then if necessary, Clubhouse to finish it out. But we got to get through this first one, and I got to say, like, for that one, the thing that seemed like it was different was, again, Zen Black took the fight a little bit more directly. Freezer didn't play off-site nearly as much. They seemed to do better when they had a little bit more of a roam game set up, took some of those early engagements, just sort of whittled down the attacking team with attrition, and then forced them to come through some of those pinch points. So on that round, Zen Black brought the fight more directly to site, and that's when they seem to capitalize. So now it's the side swap. We get to see how the Freezer's going to handle their attack here. And it is Zen Black's map pick. So they're going to have the setups in play. And there it is. Barry Vertsy going to run the Tachanka upstairs.
Yeah, double up on the area denial run. Not going to ban out
that
the
is the
smoke
greatest
on this half of
moment
this side
in my
of
life,
it. So
bro.
They're going to bring both the Lord himself and Smoke to make sure that you're just going to have a difficult time getting into sight. Couple that with the Fenrir, a little bit of breach denial in the hands of Bandits, some slow down with Malusi and those devilish Banshees. This is going to be a fun defense to get through. What do they bring on the other side of it? They're still going to spearhead, even though they took the Monty away. They, of course, have 2 of those still available. Choosing for the flash and awe option. And a little bit of vertical. About to try to force him out. This is something we've seen as a standard here when attacking onto Lair. Some of these positions are tough, like that desk hold that we saw out of a zombie in the previous half.
I thought you were going to go for a little bit of the Fortnite crossover. It is the shock and awesome season happening over on the Epic Games Battle Royale thriller currently, and as we're Epic content partner creators as well, so love getting to play those and love when we get to see a little bit of a crossover. But for right now, and you said it, the area denial in play, even though we're going to have the shields making the push up, there it is, that first smoke comes out, and we're going to see the Tachanka as well shed a little bit of fire here as he's trying to make his way. The defense has backed off very quickly, giving some space to the attackers, and they have got 2 minutes left in the game. Plenty of time here to make this thing work.
That's right, smoke canister goes off. It's going to force the shield back, and Frozen needs something here, right? 0-4 inside of 6 just is a tough mental chocker that can get you going. So you got to hold on to a little bit of that mental fortitude here, Run, and he already takes a little bit of damage. Couple of shots from below as the Buck gets active, trying to force the smoke back out of that power position so the Blitz can get in and start to put a little pressure on it, potentially get themselves in for an execute.
Yeah, this is the vertical we wanted to see. Absolutely, this is the vertical we wanted to see here from this team. Try and take the shots from down below, but then unfortunate walks away, just trying to open up too much space in silo, loses that battle, completely paying the price. So unfortunate there as he goes down. And from the Zen Black side, man, Kiwi, jeez, I was just about to say, Kiwi sitting at 7-6-2 had finally started to step up, and was only Poncho sort of missing out here on the defensive side. But got the battles happening on the other levels again, and there it is. Man, just taking another just advantage here from this defense. The Freezer pushing now in a 3v2 with that final 45 seconds left.
Tachanka able to find one, but the plant's going down, and in this 3v2 scenario, the defense put on a bit of the back foot. Larry's going to find one, however, as that's going to take us into a 2-2, but it's a post plant now, and the Blitz is active on the shield. They're going to start pushing up. The flash goes out. Some pistol popping, but he retreats into the relative safety of the crossfire. Fenrir stays alive. Tachanka goes down. Now puts some pressure on, and some pistol popping action is going to put Fenrir. No, he had to reload. Oh my gosh, and now Fenrir fighting back. Tachanka's down, that kill is solidified, and now as they start to push up onto the Fenrir, there's only a few seconds left in which they can get that defuse even to go, but it's gonna be a pistol pop, a head drop.
You know what, I'm honestly not sure what that was, and I'm with a Frozen there. What was that? What a way to finish off round 1 of the attacking half here, and the Freezer goes up. Yeah, Frozen, just the Iceman playing behind the shield and completely shutting down the Zen Black defense. Comical, having a little fun here at the XGS Rite of Passage grand finale. Man, right now Freezer's looking like they're locked in no matter how they want to pull it off.
5-2. Found one on the attack side. Poncho sitting at 0-6. It's a tough one. Can't seem to buy themselves a kill just yet. So if there's a win con here, a strat, a reassess, a readdress, I think it's going to start with Poncho getting active.
Interesting call. I mean, it is time to step it up. You know what? Show us what you got. Fenrir, right? That previous round was not it. So we're gonna start the clock over on round 8, which is not a great place to do it in the game of Siege. But you know what? That's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. From the Freezer side, though, I mean, bringing out, again, the vertical play. I love the fact that Frozen's bringing out the Ram. Great play here. I'm expecting them to focus on a top-down clear. And you take a look at where Zen Black is set up their defense. Pretty much, 3 of the 5 downstairs, 4 of the 5 in that basement setup means it's going to give the Freezer plenty of time and ease to clear that second floor out. They're going to drone it just to make sure, but expect they're going to get down very quickly, start putting direct pressure on the Zen Black defense.
That's right, and not as heavy of an investment into holding on to the vertical as we've seen in matches past, so a little bit easier to potentially clear them out of there. It is the Solus Fenrir combo. It's going to be holed up, so Poncho going to be in a good position to potentially find his first kill, and it's going to look towards the Blackbeard, and they're not going to have much out of that Fenrir gadget.
All right, playing a little bit slow. It's a minute down. They've got plenty of time at this point. You can see now all of this attacking team made their way down onto the first floor, and everybody with the exception of Larry, Jabba, has made their way down into the basement. So that's that first kill. Ymir picking up one. Poncho, there it is. You called him out, called it the win con. He picks up his first.
Yep, and they maintain that body balance. Now Ymir is down. They pick him back up. So it's a 4-2 now with a minute and a half left on the board. A couple of pot shots as he tries to hold on to the vertical here. Not much to do. Come down the back stairs. Maybe try to find yourself a free pick, but there's 2 set up. It's going to force the Fenrir back. Now he can take some shots. No head holes there, though, to be able to put it on. Poncho goes down. Now they only claim that body balance by 1. 65 left on the board, and they're staring at the door. A potential to get in and get an execute going. But, man, that Tachanka, that's going to leave him in a bit of a pickle because he has got 17 rounds left to stall him out.
Well, and the big problem here is that the Freezer, they don't have any of these main sight lines open. They don't have the entry, no can openers, no hard breach left. So you're forcing him to walk through a door that Tachanka is to sit there and cover for the next 35 seconds, completely shutting down this attack.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going on. They're going to have to redirect. Finds himself on the backside, though. Tachanka caught slipping as they got a little bit sneaky. Flank was not covered. Was collapsed upon, but somebody's still close. They're going to take a quick swing. The sound cue is going off. 17 seconds. They've got to take this fight. Ymir on a low.
Don't peek that!
And a dream. Now the only one left alive. It's an old-fashioned 1v1 showdown as we find ourselves 7 seconds, and they're going to put each other. He doesn't know. He looks the wrong way, and Ymir's going to find another, and they're going to clinch around.
That absolutely defensive round, easy. And unfortunately, they throw bodies at the situation and get a little bit lucky, not looking in the right direction to finish it off. Zen Black, I mean, the Freezer just gave them a gift there, throwing away those rounds. So, unfortunate. Really, honestly, either one of those teams could have thrown it away. Somebody had to win it, though. Zen Black is going to be the one. And they get a little closer to tying up 3-5 here as we head into round 9. You're going to get to see this first floor. Going back to this this bunks setup, so we're gonna see Zen Black head upstairs, hopefully to hold down that R6 room tight, and then try and maybe protect that main breach. So they brought along the Bandit to pull that off, and then the slowdown of the Malusi and the smoke here for some area denial.
Man, you wonder why Tachanka was left on his own in that round, right? They had the hold. He still had 11 rounds left in the launcher to be able to hold off the door sight, and they just walk up on him and find the kill, and they lose the round because of that. Huge heads-up play by the defense to be able to pull that one back.
All right, now speaking of the defense here, this is one of the first times we're really seeing them push the spawn peak early, push for this early engagement, and yes, no way, they just run right past the open door. Oh, Larry, Jabba taking advantage of an unaware attacking team. Oh, the all chat coming out, man. You walked across an open door with his barrel pointed right at your dome. That is an unfortunate play there for the attackers, and likely a mistake that they won't make again.
Well, potentially, right? That's the hope and the dream. Is it broke a rule 1 here? You run, you die, and that includes the outside of the map, especially when it's all on the line in the grand finals. People are going to get cheeky. Dokkaebi call goes off now as they're trying to suss out where these defenders are locked up at. What critical push points are they holding on to? They've got quite a few up top this time, Run. 4 members sitting up on the second floor guarding that verticality.
They have to. This R6 room is the most important room in the game here for holding on to this first floor site. But, man, just going back to that spawn P for a sec is honestly surprising he didn't grab a double. Jabba so close to picking up that double kill, and the Freezer got damn lucky. But, all right, going to answer back, man. 11, 5, and 3. He is absolutely on fire, and that's that Ying coming out. We saw Ying banned in the first half of this map, and they're going to punish this defense now for leaving her on the board.
That wasn't just a Ying run, that was a Ying shoddy. Why are we seeing it out? It's because it's doing things like that. It was a shoddy on shoddy swing, and the Ying one came out on top. Ymir is gonna find a C4 and claim one. That's double down on the body balance. Defense feeling pretty good about getting one closer to tying this up. They've got 67 to hold on to. Couple of shots from Dokkaebi, they're not gonna land. In fact, they're not even gonna hit. They have to rotate out and just hold now. There it is. Okay, took a second shot. Apparently, gonna be able to find one that time. Answered back though. Kiwi takes Silo off the board. Now put into a 3-2. A shotgun rings out. Now into a 1v3. It's gonna be Thermite alone on an island. Finds one, but it's not gonna be enough.
Kobe!
Oh.
All right, Zen Black. Well played from a defensive perspective. I was thinking, honestly, it looked like at that point the attackers had a little bit of an advantage, but the piece that the defenders held on to was the verticality. You said it. They still had 2 operators upstairs holding onto the vertical, just preventing the attackers to making their way downstairs. They were taking some shots through the floor, but it was a distraction for the player upstairs to just clean up the attackers without them realizing it. And yeah, even though Ying Shoddy wins one battle, they lose the war. And now Zen Black is 1 round away from tying this thing up in what looked like a very dominant game for the Freezer to start off in the first half. They have definitely let it go, losing 3 of the last 4 rounds at this point.
Yeah, momentum is everything, and Zen Black has got it right now. Win a couple in a row, start feeling some confidence, now take it up to the second floor. Similar hold to go on. Do see with the bands that came out, Bandit going to be off the board, so Zen Black gets rid of the shields, the Freezer gets rid of the breach, and now means we're going to open everything up, but we're not going to have necessarily a spearhead to go in and grab it, unless they pick the Blackbeard. Seems like we might be getting a taste of that one.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, we've seen the Freezer like to play the shields in this case. We saw the Blitz a few different times, so even though Monty's not available, now losing the Blitz, going to force into the Blackbeard side. And honestly, the Freezer was doing, or Zen Black was doing a great job of managing the Bandit as well, blocking off some of those entry points, so getting rid of the Bandit makes a lot of sense here. So that's the question. Can this combination of Frozen running the Blackbeard, and as Silo changing up and running the Flores, are they going to be able to clear out enough of this defensive utility and make their way in with enough time to dominate? Zen Black gaining a little bit of momentum, and boy, they're not wasting any time. Blackbeard right up on the operational side, ready to open up one of these sight lines into that main breach.
Yep, and a grenade sings out as they try to clear out that corner, force those defenders to run back around the other side of it. These Roteros can get a lot of value here. Run Fenrir gadgets, Kiba barriers, the Banshees, even forcing the Lord himself out of position. Vertical, although, gonna take some pressure and put it onto the attack side as we see damage done on both sides. Nomad and a zombie, both worst aware in that engagement.
Yeah, little bits and pieces at this point. No kills coming out, so we still have got all 10 left alive as we get down to the first half of the round gone. The defender's going to take a couple shots. Boy, after we said Poncho's name, calling him the win con's not been able to find another one. So again, we're going to call him out. It's time to step up a little bit, my friend. And Frozen completely shut down with the Blackbeard upstairs. Unfortunate there for the attackers to lose the spearhead.
Yep, Lair gonna find another one. That's 2 that go down, and those Roteros off the board, which means those Kiba barriers, those Fenrir gadgets, even those Banshees are gonna find themselves ready to do some chaos causing stuff to the attack side. Now, we're going to see Malusi go down as the Bailiff rings out, and a couple shots towards Fenrir is going to do a little bit of damage, but not enough to get it down just yet. They've got a pinch hold here. Siege timing is going to not allow for that kill. That's an air jab to go off. Stays in the relative safety as that wall was set. Ymir's going to find Kobe off the board. So man advantage heavy now into the hands of Zen Black. Looking pretty good at holding on and tying up this first game here, this first match.
Yeah, this thing has gotten way closer than we expected. The fact that they've been able to come back like this. The Freezer had done such a great job. Boy, and they are just absolutely stalling out here, the defense. The area denial is just doing a great job of shutting this attack down.
Quick shot. Poncho going to find one. His second of the round. Ymir takes one as well, and that's going to be a defender win and run. We're going to find ourselves tied up. Relentless pressure from the defense. Going to find ourselves equalized.
Well, yeah, that's now 4 of the last 5 rounds. 3 in the row for the Zen Black team. We said it was their map pick, but man, honestly, that was a surprising comeback at this point. You look at that dominance that the Freezer had in the first half as we go into this timeout. They need the timeout. It honestly feels like they have sort of fallen apart. They were taking advantage of all of the mistakes that Zen Black was making, and now they can't really find any sort of footing. Frozen struggling to get anything going, trying to balance between using the shields, being that entry point. Raki was doing a great job early on, is sort of slowed down as well, while Ymir has just continued to pad that kill count after that opening round 1 ace. If you didn't catch it, that one got clipped. It was a hell of a play.
Yeah, so 3 in a row to Zen Black. It's a good thing to take the timeout here, right? 1 away from that match point scenario. And we see that happen, right? We've talked about it. 60 to 70% of the time, person that takes, or the team that takes the timeout can come out with a victory. Will it play out that same way here? Not quite sure. They're going to lean into a similar lineup that they've been running all night on the side of Zen Black.
Yeah, the double area denial, running the Goyo and the Tachanka. And honestly, I know Tachanka, gets a lot of grief, but this seems to be a setup that Zen Black is comfortable with, right? They've planned it, worked him into their strat, and right now the Freezer just struggling to deal with him. What's the right way to manage it? They haven't found a way around it yet. And then you throw in the Azami to try and block off some of those sight lines, plus Ymir running the Goyo and a little bit of extra area denial. There's a lot of opportunity here for the Freezer to absolutely get cooked.
Thank you for the follow, Shrimmy R6. You are officially our 6,900th follower to the channel. Happy to have you along for the ride. 6,900, run. Crazy.
5 seconds remaining.
Hell yeah, appreciate everybody being here with us tonight. By the XGS Rite of Passage Grand Final. We said it earlier, 42 teams duked it out all the way here to the end. We got to see some of that action back in July, but now as we close in on September, the end of summer, it was time to finish out the Rite of Passage. Who is it going to be? $600 on the line here in the prize pool for the XGS Rite of Passage, and going to be one of these two teams, Zen Black or the Freezer, and we said it. What a comeback Zen Black has had. Again, holding down this first floor site, first floor with the basement site, just playing the vertical better, playing a little bit more spread out, and Frozen back on the Blackbeard, and honestly, it feels like maybe not the right call at this point in the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The shield isn't quite having that movement that's needed, right? Pushing those specific players out of those critical push points, causing movement, just not quite going along, right? It's just kind of getting tapped. A couple of shots in as they open up that single wall. Nobody really there to put the pressure on it. A couple of close calls, but nobody peeking it. You can hear the Tachanka start to go off as the Dokkaebi call finishes up. They've made some pretty good headway at taking up some real estate here, Run.
Hell yeah, they're pushing right in, taking the fight directly here to the Zen Black team. The vertical be damned. We got most of this team settled in on this basement site, going for the direct. Thermite opening up this wall, but the problem is that vertical can still completely shut down this execute before it really gets going. That's the one they're going to have to watch out for. Larry, Jabba holding down with the Azami upstairs in Armory could absolutely be the spoiler a little bit late. That's why you see Raki playing the Dokkaebi, running, looking, searching for that. And you can hear the call come out as they're trying to find where is Poncho hiding.
Yep, up onto the second floor for one, trying to play lurk. It's a minute left, so he's going to start his movement down as he knows there's a couple of people posturing outside of sight. Blackbeard going to take a little bit of damage as that Tachanka are going to keep him at bay. Ymir able to find Silo off the board. That's going to be the first in this exchange. 46 seconds, has to push through the fire. He's going to be devastated. Ymir to find a second one now as the Twitch gets taken down as well. A little bit of damage done onto Poncho, but still able to hold up onto the first floor. 34 seconds left, and they still haven't dealt with the vertical pressure. He's going to take one onto the rotate. Poncho now with his third kill of the match, and might be his most important one. Second engagement now coming onto the rotate. Wallbang almost finds it. Flash goes out. They're not able to quite push him. He's still going to keep on swinging a pillar to protect him.
How is he alive?
They finally get him off the board, but it's 14 seconds now. Blackbeard on the precipice of pushing into sight, but 8 seconds left. You got to pre-fire everything, and there are so many defenders left alive. Zen Black's going to hold on. Defense is going to put themselves onto a match point scenario.
They have 4 in a row for this team. What a turnaround. All right, if we take a look at the way that this game has played out, the ebb and flow, we saw Zen Black pick up round 1 and 6. The Freezer picking up rounds 2 through 4, the middle of that first half. Zen Black is pulling off exactly the same style here. The Freezer picked up the first round of the second half. Zen Black picked up the next 4. So, all right, if history is going to repeat itself for the first half of the game, this is Freezer's round to win, to tie it up and send it into overtime here on map 1. But Zen Black looking to shut it down early, take a 7-5 victory here on map 1 before we head into Bank. Who's it going to be, my friend? Frozen and that Blackbeard looked like they were going to make a little bit of space downstairs in the basement, but eventually shut down all the action happening upstairs. And you said it, Poncho's second kill coming out upstairs being his most important. Zen Black 1 round away.
Okay. Doubling up on the area denial. It's going to be a tough one to push into. Goyo and Smoke on the board. You talked about Deimos being suspiciously absent. Well, they're going to bring him out now. A couple of players on that double-digit KD on the side of the Freezer. Ymir having an absolute legacy game, 15-7, hitting that 2.0. And honestly, run, I can't call it.
Yeah, it's too early at this point. I mean, we've been back and forth. The momentum has completely shifted in the way this one's played out. The Freezer not done yet. Time to lock in. Boy, we talked about sort of the absence of Deimos early on in this match, and here he is. He's going to show up on the final round here for the attackers. Going to make a play along with that Thermite and the Exothermic. Going to try and open up some of this space. So they've got to gain control here upstairs, but they're going to open up this main breach first. The important push point, there it is. And you can see the defenders holding on, waiting for that main breach. And that's the piece. They have got to clear out Kiwi upstairs before any real sort of play is going to happen.
Yeah, Kiwi and Poncho, right? They're both holding on. And Poncho's going to opt for the shotgun instead of the Vector as well. Grenade rings out. Lair going to take a bit of damage, but he survives the engagement. First minute down. Drone starting to get in. The pressure starting to mount. Poncho goes down yet again as the smokes come out and stop the play from pushing in. Larry is down, but not out. As they claim some space on the first floor. Finally able to clean up Larry. Frozen gets the confirmation onto the kill. Attackers trying to tie this one up and send it to overtime, and they put themselves into a good position to do so. Mute Jammer stopping that Thermite. Wall going to stay closed for now.
Oh, that's so huge to block that sight line and force the Freezer to have to adapt and work around it. They still have got one EMP, but they got to make sure that they get the EMP right next to the front Thermites to be able to open that piece up. And what? The Freezer comes up with a flawless round with 3 in succession.
Wow, line them up, 1, 2, 3, and cast them down. We're headed to overtime run. Map number 1 sees a 6-6. We're going to need it all to get it done here.
Damn, what a play. We said that if history was going to repeat itself, there was going to be a Freezer win, each of the teams picking up the first and then the final round of their half with a 4-in-a-row block from the opposition to start it. I mean, 4-2 halves, that is crazy. The fact that, you know what, I honestly love a little bit of siege poetry and a little bit of siege symmetry there in this lineup. It's time though, overtime, map 1. If you're just joining us, welcome everyone. We're in a best of 3 for the XGS Rite of Passage grand finale between Zen Black and the Freezer. We've got Bank and Clubhouse on tap as maps 2 and 3.
Let's go. Okay, run back down to the basement. Back into the same strat that we've been seeing out of Zen Black all night. Pace setters, right? Yes, you can take that verticality, but you're going to pay for it. Yes, you can push up towards the doors to posture outside of sight, but you're going to pay for it. And this time they double up on that. With Ymir putting themselves on to the Goyle. A little bit of vector to continue that reign of terror that he's been on today.
5 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, honestly, that was just a little bit of a crazy round. The defense completely fell apart, and I don't want to say that Deimos was the difference maker, but you know what? Bring them out in a round, and they pull off a flawless. The Freezer going to try and pull off some of that magic again. The Freezer's going to run the Frozen is going to run the Blackbeard again, and somebody called it out. Interesting running the ACOG on that setup rather than, you know, the Iron Sights to make that ADS a little bit faster, but you know what? Trying to make it work, at least giving away that intel here to support the team, and it was the Deimos making the difference. And they got him upstairs, looking, searching right now for this Zen Black defense, and it pretty much completely left the second floor free. So it's just going to burn some time from the attackers as they drone themselves down.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Pro strat, if you want to win, bring the Deimos. I love it. Okay, we're seeing Larry get himself set up here onto the first floor, helped out by Poncho as they're going to try to deny that verticality. It's worked well. Then you're going to have to get through that second layer down with Tachanka. It's kind of been a little bit of a slowdown here.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, we talk about Vertzi playing that Tachanka basically every round that they've been on defense, and he's only picked up 4 kills, so it hasn't been the difference maker completely from a kill perspective, but he has definitely slowed down this team, and that's exactly what they've needed to do. When they can slow down the Freezer, they run out of time, stall this team out, but oh no, to lose too early. But a couple trades coming back and forth with a minute 15. Honestly, not feeling like we've got a totally secure setup at this point. The attackers working, holding on to the first floor, still searching for the defenders, and man, right now just looking, fighting, finally catching a little piece.
Yeah, and Poncho's going to take Frozen off the board. After he got the kill, he rotated up to the second floor. They tried to chase, and just was devastation. Grenade rings in, and they're going to try to push some of these defenders back, but they're still having to fight Poncho up on the second. What a time to come alive here in overtime. Ymir and Poncho show for the first round of overtime.
I mean, yeah, we got to see the Ymir ace on round 1, now looking to shut this team down. So there it is, a 7-6 in Zen Black back on match point for the second time tonight. Going to see the bands flip, and so this time we're going to lose the Ying Monty and Ace, which really, the Ace really slowed down that Zen Black team, the Ace band. So this could be the difference maker here for Freezer. They played a much better defensive half than they did the attacking side. So if we see a history repeat itself here, Freezer picks up another one, and we're going to see double overtime in map 1.
Fingers crossed run, right? Fingers crossed. I love when it takes it all to get it done. Each team firing. We'll see if they've got what it takes. Going to take it up to the second floor for this potential equalizer. And let's see some similarities between the defense here. Got a little bit of breach denial on the board. Might do some potential Cade tricking as Frozen has brought the tuber out as well. Really just try to slow you down, and I think, Run, maybe, probably one of the big highlights here is that we still have Mira available. And up on the second floor, this can be pretty devastating at holding on to that extension.
Well, we saw Raki go crazy playing the Mira earlier, sitting at 13, 9, and 6. Supportive AF right now in addition to the kill, so that is a very dangerous combo running the Vector and the Mira upstairs. So the big piece, they've got the Cade So they're going to be able to lock down some of these walls, and it didn't really. Okay, they've got one over on the main breach side, but left the operational side unelectrified at this point. We'll see whether or not they change that up. Frozen's going to play in that spot at least to slow down this hard breach from Kiwi.
You know, interesting call bringing the Brava out. Now I know that there's an absolute ton of default cams here, but really outside of that, what are we looking at? The Fenrir gadgets. Almost would have liked to see a Twitch come out instead, right? Something to help deal with the Goyos, the Mira, the Fenrirs, and the cams all at once. Either way, we'll see. Barry knows what he's doing, right? Barry knows best. Maybe not. He's 4-11. We'll see if he's able to do something now.
Yeah, we're going to watch the clutches come out at this point, and you said it. Well, okay, he's going to lose one immediately here from the Freezer defense. It's starting off slow here for Zen Black, inching closer here for a double overtime. They're going to play the vertical, so we're seeing Poncho play the buck and start to look around. This is the second floor upstairs site, so there's a good opportunity and a place that they need to play from down below to try and clear out Frozen from playing the two brow. Hopefully they can get that main breach open. Kiwi right now just sitting waiting. There goes that first exothermic out on the wall.
They're going to start to open it up. Pressure's being put. They're going to be able to escape that vertical pressure from below. Nobody down there to really engage with them. They've got two down here to help solidify the hole for it. So they pushed them off. They're not going to be able to get the breach now back on it, which means, well, two brow will at least slow it down. We're going to be able to potentially see there's no Cade clause. So they're just going to let this one open. Frozen going to do his best to slow it down as best he can. Taking up some room here. About to take a shot. They've got guns on it. Guns up, guns ready. Open up the wall, going for the swing, but Barry's going to find it. Okay, Barry knows best. Barry gets taken off the board as Frozen freezes. Now into a 4-4. Grenade's going to go out, but Fenrir Gadget going to stymie that push in. 43 left on the board.
Yeah, that was an important one there to sort of shut down that push on the operational side. Just slowed it down at this point, and then, oh, there it is. The Vector ringing out, taking down one of the attackers on the stairs. That's Larry going to go down as well. And then the flash comes out, the self-flash. Honestly, I don't know how he survived that one.
Yeah, pure game sense on that one. Goyo down on the stairs. Going to be a tough one to potentially recover. Now they're holding off through the Miras. Goyo gadgets start going down, but that's the plan. They solidified it. They get the kill as Frozen's able to find Poncho off the board. Ymir to answer back.
Go!
Now into a 1v2, and they're starting to defuse. The fire's there, slowing him down. He doesn't know it's there. They're going to find it. Defense is going to equalize. We're going to all 15 to get this one done.
Double overtime, it is required, my friend. The Freezer shuts him down upstairs, even though in a post-plant scenario, the fire, I thought he went down from just catching his toe in the fire. But man, all 15 required for map 1. What a grand final here to start this thing off. It's the last round, though. No more opportunities. This is it. Somebody has got to win, and it's come down to the final round.
The final in the finals. First match about to be set. Zen Black goes on to the defense, and they're going to take it up to the second floor to get it done, and they're going to bring the lineup that we have seen quite a few times already. Some area denial that since Azami was left up there has just been devastating at redefining how the site sits, where you can potentially push in from. And to the surprise of nobody, Frozen back onto the Blackbeard.
All right, so these teams definitely have a side, certainly. The Freezer better on the defense, and Zen Black better on the defense as well. So if stats want to say anything, have anything to say about this round, Zen Black looking to take map 1. Now, if we take a look at the second floor specifically, the Freezer did pick this one up back on round 7, so certainly there is the opportunity for them to try and pull it off. And they're a very good second floor team. We just saw them win on the second floor, so they can pull it off. But back on round 10, Zen Black shut them down on this exact same site. So it's really a 2-for-1 at this point, so tough toss-up, my friend. The difference maker, you said it. All right, Racky bringing out the Deimos. Is this going to be the difference maker?
Sits 15-9. He's been having himself a heck of a round.
A
Couple
win
of members
con?
on that double-digit pull. You know what? Maybe that Deimos might be the win con, but not because it's Deimos. It's because the operator behind him going absolutely crazy no matter who he's playing. I think the big win con here is they brought the Buck along. They're going to try to do some of that verticality from below as well, which has kind of been that staple for pushing some of these players out of that 2F site. Specifically, they're going to try to get Ymir, and he is the win con on the other side. Take him down, win round.
Yeah, holding down on the office side. We know. We watched him play from behind the desk and have a hell of a round to start this thing out. So that'll be the big question. Can he try and pull off some of that same magic? Take a look at where these blue operators, where those outlines are at, holding down power positions all the way across the map. Right now it feels like... yeah, I mean, you take a look at the R6 room side, feels a little bit wide open, and there it is. Frozen going to pick up one, and it is Poncho that goes down. The area denial from the smoke, active utility lost. That is a huge boost here for the attacking team.
You know what? Give him good for 2 as he gets the down onto Malusia as well. That's a huge position to find yourself in. Now, you do lose the thermite. He goes down, but is recoverable. So at the moment, you maintain a double down on the body balance, my friend. Up by 2 as you're trying to push in and take some of that real estate.
Yeah, they have absolutely got from an execute perspective, sight lines in, pushing this defense back. They're going to play behind the deployable shields, play behind those Azami Kiba barriers, but right now it certainly feels like the Freezer heavy on the offensive. They're getting ready for this execute, and they still have got 50 seconds left, plus the Buck playing from down below, putting vertical pressure on this defense.
All right, 44 seconds between the decider of the first round. Azami getting really aggressive towards the rotate, and it's going to pay off as Barry's able to take the top frag down. That gets a little bit closer, but it's traded. Barry gets taken off the board. Now into a 4v2. 30 seconds as the flashes start to ring out, and there's another just absolute chaos being caused. Frozen gets in and starts to plant. Takes it 50 to 75. Ymir to find one, but traded back immediately. And now it's a post-plant scenario. Attackers become defenders. Defenders become attackers.
How did he survive?
To push up. They're going to go for that shield bash, but Larry's on the run. It's a scenic route. He puts himself back in a position to take the gunfight, but Blackbeard's not going to give it to him. Off the own Kiba barriers. It's a pinch. The Freezer's going to take it.
Damn, the Frozen Blackbeard haters in chat shut down as he pulls off a 3K at the end to win it for his team. Damn, they pull off a hell of a victory. Double overtime, you said it, all 15 rounds required. Great play here from this team. Map 1 done, my friend.
Man, that's a tough one, too. To go 19 kills, 19 and 10 to lose.
Yo.
Man. Almost
wild.
dropped a 20 bomb to lose. That's a tough place to find yourself. Well, that's going to definitely be a conversation as they're going into map 2, as they start to get the lobby set back up, saying, I imagine it's going to be one of those Fabian-esque style yell sessions. You know, I'm dropping 19. Where are you? Stop losing your ones. We'll see how it plays out. It needed all of overtime to get it done for map number 1. And when we come back, we're going to get you a second map. Heyo.
Let's go.
What's up and welcome back, fellow spectators and players. Map 1 was an absolute barn burner. Took all 15 to see the end of that one. Fingers crossed for a map number 2. What do you think, Whiskey?
I love this map. Getting to go to Bank after watching that battle on Lair is going to be great. Zen Black lost their map pick to the Freezer, but honestly, just by a hair. Boy, we started that one off with an ace on round 1. Are we going to see the same thing, my friend? I don't know, but it is time for Bank.
Man, Bank, we love it. It's big, it's spread out. You know, you get into that second floor, can be a little bit of that default style, right? A little bit solved, and of course, that absolute arsenal downstairs in the basement area. Tough to get through. I'm curious what we're going to see for bans. They were not super spicy on map 1, but definitely necessary.
Yeah, really, we saw each of the teams sort of settle into, for sure, get rid of the clash, and then a little bit of shield ban, a little bit of the breach now, a little bit of hard breach. So they sort of mixed it up a little bit. Bank here, the two important ones to start it off. Hibana and Cade, definitely not surprising. Such important operators for managing the basement defense here. So from a Zen Black perspective, they want to make sure that Hibana's not available, and then Freezer making sure that Cade is not going to slow that down at all. And then, yeah, mixing it in. One shield, and then the area denial. Goyo so good, again, at defending the basement. So from a Zen Black, from a Freezer side, they're really focusing on making sure they can win in the basement, and that's the first place that Zen Black is going to take this.
I like seeing the Goyo band, right? He has been an absolute decider of an operator, especially on bank basement, right? That's one thing that you have to do. You have to bring a twitch. You have to get in to get those Goyos down, because it just stymies the whole attack, no matter where you're coming from. So I like seeing it taken off the board. We're going to start down in the basement run, and because Mira was not taken off the board, she will be available and she will be used. Blitz going to round it out for the Zen Black attack ban, which means double up on the area denial run. This is something we've seen from them before.
Yeah, for sure. And the Tachanka, right? Vertzi going to continue to play that. I think he played the Tachanka on like every single round here to start off with this round. And oh, yeah, just shooting his drone upstairs, saying, get away, get out of there. But yeah, doubling it up on the area denial. Kiwi going to run the 2-brow this time. Yeah, and Vertzi just leaning into that Tachanka. Seems like a favorite operator pick as opposed to any of the site-specific play that we typically see. But look at this. Aggressive stance from the defense from Poncho. Going to push down immediately. Force the Freezer to try and take a couple shots early and slow this attack down. He did his job perfectly.
That's right. And now what does it do? It also puts it into the headspace that, you know what? They're going to be aggressive. They're going to take shots. They're spawn peeking. The potential for the jump out is there. And that has the possibility to slow you down. Nook has already made their way in through ATMs towards that lobby. And look at this. They just took Poncho off the board. Was that just the hold from Dirt?
Yeah, completely shut down.
Where did that come from?
Well, Poncho was playing on blue, and I thought that's where we were going to see it happen as he had rotated back down. But yeah, it goes down early. That is unfortunate, but oh, what a trade coming out. That's a huge boost there for the Freezer.
And all of those walls just opened up, Run. Enough room to give Tachanka room to just send those fires. You know what it is? It's strat roulette. It's open sesame, and they just opened every wall. Potential to find yourself in some fiery trouble real quick. So now they got to get active onto the hatches. That's the next big part as they're checking off those Yali boxes, Run.
Yeah, the problem is from the Zen Black defense side, you've got 2 of the C4s in hand, plus Kiwi's able to hold on to that, hold on to the 2-brow Zoto canisters, but it feels like that is not enough to be able to hold on to 4 attacking operators making the push, including Frozen playing the shield. He's going to keep running that ACOG. I know he took some heat for it in that previous chat, but so far dodging the fire here from the Zen Black defense.
Well, heat or not, they won the round, so apparently they know something we don't. There's a quick shot. Ymir going to get taken off the board, and it's just falling apart for the defense now, is struggling to find themselves kills here opening. They've got the hatches opened up. Now it's just going to be that collapse onto site Run, and it's all going to be focused towards the Tachanka and making sure that he can't spread any more of those 8 fires. 26 seconds. They put themselves on it. Barry's able to find one. Barry good for 2. Now as they find themselves in a 2-2, Twitch goes down as Barry finds a 3rd. Looking for a quad piece now as they're in that 1v2 scenario. Blackbeard looking towards them. Takes a couple of shots towards the rotate. Takes a couple of shots towards gold. Not going to find it. 8 seconds as he's got to reload before he can get back into it, but the hold is here. They take another, and very good for 4. Break out the barbecue sauce for that 4-piece, baby.
Damn, running the Tachanka, running the LMG completely shuts down that Freezer attack. And You know what? I was definitely skeptical of the Zen Black defense as it got down to it. Didn't feel like they had enough assets there to be able to protect from the hatch drop, but it was a disastrous execute there from the freezer. They didn't exactly time the drop. You had the Deimos run over and try and put pressure on the player far back in sight, but he loses that battle immediately, and then Tachanka is able to clean up. Tachanka and Tubrow able to clean up two on the hatch drop on the other side, and then a little bit of ring around the rosy, but it completely fell apart from there. So they looked like they had everything they needed. Right now, Zen Black just played that one a little bit better. So we knew the focus was going to be on trying to win that opening engagement in the basement with the freezer, focusing on Cade and Goyo as their band operators, but they couldn't pull it off. They got close, though, and I imagine that with what we saw from that team back on Lair previously, they certainly can come up with a better shot. Gonna have to wait, though, as we're going to play second floor here on round 2.
Man, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one, Run. I don't think it was even close. You had a 2v4. Attackers moved in with all the confidence of the world and then just got ate up by a slow Tachanka. That's painful. That's tough. That's not something that you want to relive again, and you're going to have to VOD review that one for sure, my friends, because that is not something that should be happening. Almost saw an ace on the first round of map number 2 as well, Run. That would have been pretty interesting.
Yo, that would have been crazy to see. But gonna be speaking of crazy to see at this point, Raura on the board, Raki playing her, and that interesting the Reaper secondary. We don't get to see her very often in competitive play. Really has not found her groove, not found maybe the right balance in terms of what she brings to the table. There's a couple of opportunities, couple interesting strats, but it feels very focused, very specific ways that don't seem to work out so well for the attacker. So we're going to focus typically on more typical operators at this point. So we're going to see the Ash come out, and what a tap from Larry. Jabba just rises.
Yeah, Control Alt deleted on the rappel. That was a tough one. Does get answered back though, as Larry's gonna lose his life with an equally devastating headshot. That's the castle gone, but of course that util's already in place. Got a kill, got his util, got the stall. Effective castle use there by Larry. I just like saying Larry and Barry. I think that's a fun name.
And I'm trying to remind the viewers that Barry is Verti, Larry is Jabba, just in case, as they decided to cause some chaos for the casters here just at the beginning of this match. So, speaking of chaos, we're seeing a little bit of it happen upstairs. There goes 1-2. Poncho wins that battle again, and we get into a 3v3 with 1:09 left. Now, Barry still has got those smoke canisters, so a little bit of area denial. Kobe's still playing on the rappel, but he's going to go for the swing in now.
Fenrir Gadget goes off, Silo able to take Poncho off the board. Man advantage down to the hands of the Freezer as the last 54 starts to count down. Frozen onto the Monty, starting to be devastating as he's taking up some of that real estate. There's going to be a shot from the head holes, and it's going to be a double to ring out. Silo and Kobe to finish it up.
Whew. Okay, now a question coming out in the chat. Which game are we watching? We did get to see the Mukbang semifinal game last night, and that finals game is absolutely going to be coming at us next week. But before we could get there, we needed to see the end of the XGS Rite of Passage Grand Finals. Completely different set of teams. They started off with 42 all the way through qualifiers making into this league, and Zen Black and the Freezer, the two teams left alive at the end of that battle. But yeah, the Mukbang final coming up next week as well. We're gonna get to watch Teddy in that battle. Now, the question here: which one of these teams is gonna pull it off? The Freezer found success on map 1, just barely. Double overtime victory, 8-7 on Lair, and now they found a second round, or at least a win in the second round here on Bank to tie this thing up.
I like it. Look at what we brought to the table for it, right? Double up on those pace setters. Castle and Azami to really try to slow down any sort of shield play that was being brought into it. And this time Frozen not going to be the one mounting that shield push, not going to be the spearhead, as he's going to take on the power of the extension util clearing. Rotero drones on board.
As they start to make this push up, feels like a great lineup here. The combination of the hard breach, the Twitch, absolutely essential. And we saw Twitch get banned previously when we watched this map played out yesterday. I wonder whether or not that will be part of the pocket ban strat coming in the second half here from Zen Black. Big question is whether or not one of these other freezer operators just starts to dominate and they want to sort of take away some of that opportunity. But man, Twitch so good right there, clearing out some of those environmental ingredients as well.
I love that new addition to it, Run. Those things are so funny, especially when you accidentally hit like the fire extinguisher during a gun battle and nobody can see. It's the you can't see, I can't see Joker strat that we talk about so often.
It has certainly added something extra here into Siege, and I think it was honestly a great addition. Just changing it up slightly, not overpowering, not turning it into something crazy that we got a chance to see, you know, overpowered, just enough to cause a little bit of chaos, change up the tactical landscape in this game, because at its heart, yeah, the tactical Siege shooter, we love getting to see that now. The other thing I love, aggressive defense. Were we going to see him make the run up? But no, he just runs across the open window. Kobe fries Ymir.
Yeah, one window maybe you can get past. Two windows, it's just about a death sentence. But back and forth, good night, sleep tight. They find Ymir off the board, and he's having a little bit tougher of a start here than he did on the first map, as he can't seem to find himself a kill early on.
Yeah, it's a completely different lineup here, or a play style we've seen from these ops. So it's maybe a case of which map is sort of their favorite, which angles are they finding right now. But yeah, Zez just struggling to get anything going. Silo sort of the main guy here over on the freezer side, but man, just as I say his name as well, Barry fries him. Vertzy just takes him down. Puts us in a 3v3 though with that final 45.
Yeah, absolutely. 6-1 on the hands of Barry. Still two smokes left in the container as well to slow this push down. Grim is a couple of bullets as they start to make a couple of shots. Fenrir Gadget going to slow down that process. Silo taking Kiwi off the board. Now the attack finds himself with the body balance in their hands. A couple of shots from the stock. Nobody responding. He's holed up onto the head holes, and still it's going to be the rotate. Looking towards the back end. Not going to find
No way!
Larry
No
there.
way!
Barry to finish it.
How does he let him win that? He is walking around in the middle of a Grim Bee storm, identified, pinged out like crazy. They know exactly where he is. He's stuck in stock, can't get out of the space, but manages to dominate the attackers with a shotgun. Zen Black comes up with a big win there off the back of, honestly, a player that should have gotten completely shut down with the intel that Freezer had on him.
Okay, well, interesting bit of play, and here it is. They doubled up on the area denial bans. Honestly, I love that. It forces your hands into the Tachanka. Now, kind of controversial. I don't really like the Tachanka that much, right? I think he's slow. Great for making rotate, sure. But it's a slow gun when you're bringing that LMG. And now that you have both Goyo and Smoke off the board, good potential to find yourself in quick to take him off the board. We saw that split attack last time on Lair. We'll see if he's able to have a little bit better of a presence right now.
I thought we were going to see the Twitch ban come out there, but Ace, on the other hand, had been good at opening up those sight lines, giving the freezer attack just a little bit of extra room to maneuver, especially on those upstairs sites. So that's going to be the place. They found a win on the second floor. Zen Black answering back immediately, so I wondered whether or not they would structure a defense to kind of protect the basement, but Twitch left alive, and it's going to be played here on this round. And I like Iraqi showing the glass at this point, combined with the Deimos from Silo and Frozen. Wow, playing the Raora again. That feels like the fact that they've completely changed up which roles each one of these operators, the players, are playing is interesting, and feels like it's falling in the Zen Black hands.
Okay, just want to say a special what's up and welcome back to Wilfsman as he comes into the chat. Just some fun whiskey lore for you. He is our longest subscriber, a day one subscriber, 27 months. He has been hanging out with the double shot. Just want to say a special welcome and thank you for being here, Wilf.
Hell yeah, brother. This has been a hell of a ride that we've had to get to this point. A couple years in at this point, making sure we're showing the community all the T4, T3, T2 action across the board. I'm glad you're here with it for us. Just bouncing between leagues this week. Like we said, got a chance to see Mukbang game last night onto the XGS Rite of Passage. This is a grand final game, best of 3 between these two teams. Map 1 done, 8-7 victory for the Freezer. Zenblack looking to make a comeback here. And this one was the Freezer's map pick, so they're going to have to fight extra hard here on Bank.
Love the strat being brought out here, right? Couple of fun operators, Glaz and Aura on the board. And that can make it real fun for when you're going for that hatch drop, right? You've got that solidified hold from Glaz if he's able to make his way into the garage. The C4 rings out, but it's not able to take him. Looking for some feet shots there, a quick shot at the head, but nothing going to be found just yet. Another smoke as they try to clear out the presence here. If they can take that garage control and they take that hatch control, this Aura Glaz combo could be devastating.
Yeah, completely shutting down angles here in the basement, but you said it, they have got to win that battle, and right now, losing it, Mira has completely shut it down. They did bait out her C4, so she's not going to have that opportunity, but man, right now, Mira is just completely stymieing this attack single-handedly.
Yeah, Ymir wants to make up for that 0-3 start. Dropped 19 on the last. Knows that he's got to be a big part of this defense if they want to continue in that winning streak of that 2-0. Larry's able to take one off the board, and that's going to be the first big one. Zez now 0-4 to start us out. Couple of weird score lines going off now. Damo's going to take some fire damage as he gets reduced down, but he's able to take Kiwi off the board, who's going to sit also in that 0-3 scenario. Body bounce tipped in the hands of nobody.
Wow.
Goes down. Top frag is gone. Frozen able to find Ymir, who's going to remain killless inside of 4. Now into a 2-2 scenario. Poncho and Larry able to both take one. Poncho good for another one. Answered back. Poncho good again.
The garage, the location where all the battle is happening, the stronghold there for the Zenblack defense, and they come up big, winning the basement and winning their third map, or their third round here on the first half of Bank. Going to take a timeout again. We saw the Freezer take a timeout, the only one of that previous map, and ultimately it was the turning point. They ended up winning that map, even if they didn't win the very next round. It was enough of a momentum shift, and you said it, Zez sitting at 0-4. He was in the double digits on the last map. Ymir 0-4, the frag leader on the Zenblack team. So it's been a complete switch up, seeing in a different play. Yes. Damn, he calls himself out in all chat.
Yeah. He knows the casters are saying it. He knows we're talking about it. The pressure for Ymir starting to mount here. And you know what? Just need to land that first one, right? You get the first kill. You know you can do it on Bank, and that could potentially start the momentum. Doesn't matter, though. Zenblack's up. Now, this is Bank. This is a defensive-sided map. So, fact that we're seeing a 3-1 start here, not totally out of the ordinary. But the part that's kind of crazy is they're up 3-1 with 2 people killless.
Yeah, they're just in the right place at the right time, and honestly, that the garage hole downstairs in the basement, a huge difference maker. The Freezer really unable to adapt around it. I love the Mira play that they had as well, putting the Mira on the outside of the server wall to make sure you couldn't use the thermite to try and open that up. With the Ace gone and the Hibana gone, really limited your options to try and open it up, which I think forced the Freezer attack into trying to control that garage side. But the fact that with Smoke just completely unable to manage the Mira in the garage, Raura tried to use her gadget to try and add a little bit of extra in, but really nothing happened in there as well. So the Freezer just sort of ineffective at this point, not making a ton of mistakes, just Zenblack playing a little bit better. This is the tertiary site, so they get their opportunity to try something different before Zenblack can complete the round rotate.
Right, the test on the Tersh. Only real switch up is we're gonna see the Sentry and the Mozzie being brought out here. So still gonna have some of that intel and hopefully trying to deny that Twitch drone. Made its way around, sees another on the door. So at the moment, Twitch going to be stymied. Tries to get the Mozzie drone off as they can hear it going up. Mozzie in a battle with it, and they're going to find that Twitch drone. One down.
All right, 2 minutes 16, 45 seconds burned off this. We can see a lot of action happening upstairs, including a mirror going down again. 0-5. Damn, just right now, wrong place at the wrong time, over and over and over again. Poncho holding down the fort upstairs, trying to block off these windows. One of the attackers has made his way in, and no way he escapes out of there with only losing a little bit of his life.
Yeah, that's favor right there, as he's able to find himself into a safe position with the rappel, with the pushing shield. So, kind of a little bit of a slowdown here. They find that first kill onto the defenders. Now they take a second, get some more drones in. They've secured that second floor space, which means they can start to put some of that pressure on to the defense down below. Half the round gone. Now hold up at the top of square. Twitch still being annoying with those Twitch drums, just causing havoc, even if it's only putting a couple of zaps onto some of the fellow operators.
Man, it's just, we're not seeing the execute setup. We're not seeing the strong push in from the printer side. We're not seeing to controlling the top of blue and the square side. This just does not feel like the Freezer right now has got this thing as sort of the typical attack mode, and Zen Black is just in the right place at the right time. Look at this. We're just not seeing them. Field doesn't feel coordinated, doesn't feel strategic. The Freezer's got a little bit of work to do.
Yeah, I think I agree with you here. A little bit of pace, a little bit of communication, a little bit of power of friendship. They do a little bit of damage. Larry's going to go down, and so now they maintain or claim that body balance. The drop down to squares. The red pings go out. Nobody there to answer just yet, but he's close. He's on the wall. He's looking for that potential swing in, but Siege Timing's going to claim his life. Frozen takes Kiwi. They got themselves a little bit of a smoothie there. 4v2, but we've seen this before, right? We've seen the Freezer throw away a 4-2. Well, I couldn't even get the rest of it out. They're just going to find it. Silo and Frozen shut them down.
Okay. We were talking about that earlier in the round, that Zen Black felt like they were just throwing it away. Really struggling to get anything going. The Freezer felt uncoordinated, but then to throw that round, allow Frozen and the Blackbeard to just push in, dominate that round. Just chaos right now. It doesn't feel like we're seeing the super strategic, careful siege. It's just a little bit of chaos right now here, as we're in the meat of this XGS Rite of Passage Grand Final. I've already seen Map 1 go all the way 15 rounds. I don't know whether or not they're feeling burnt out. They're feeling just you know what? Throwing caution to the wind right now. See how it plays out. Freezer, one more opportunity here to try and tie it up. Zen Black, yeah, they can shut it down, turn it into a 4-2 standard defensive half. Just have to win upstairs.
Yeah, it feels like this is a pretty impactful round. I mean, you always want to win it no matter what, right? But being the last round before the half, if the Freezer goes up 3-3 here, I'm feeling the favor on their side. You know, you've got the momentum in your favor. Then you head on to the defense as well, knowing that you're one map away from solidifying a Grand Finals win and walking home with the cash and crown. This is a big round.
All the pressure here on Zen Black, right? They're down 1-0 here to the Freezer. They had picked up a win on the Zen Black map pick, and the Freezer starting off on the attacking side. We knew, again, expecting this being their map pick. They're going to have to fight out the attacker to start with, so Zen Black needs to build up as much of a buffer as they can. Now, we're seeing Frozen holding out here on the Blackbeard, out on Repel. No real pressure from the defense. Wanted to see them maybe take a couple chances. I don't know whether or not the Repel is worth it as we've gotten into Year 10 Season 3, but with a pair of the attackers downstairs and ATMs, certainly not yet.
Drone comes down, or the Yokai drone comes down to take a look, quickly retreats back up as the pressure from ATM's almost going to take it off the board. Stopping that rotate down below, 3 of the Aurora gadgets are going to stop potential rotate from coming around, or at least giving a little bit of that sound cue that they're coming. That's a good thing too, because they've still got some work to do up top, especially getting through those mirrors.
Yeah, that's actually kind of wild. What a great use here of those gadgets. It has completely shut it down. Needed to wait for it to fully deploy so that Larry could try and open that piece up, but it gives a little bit of noise, a little indication where this attacking team or a defending team might be able to take a shot here. So they haven't cleared out the E3 player, and that right now the big piece of this that's missing.
Yep, and the Yokai is going to give it a shield break. Frozen going to take a bunch of damage, but he's going to rotate onto the banana area as the Grim Bees go out and reveal some locations. Grenade's going to open that thing up, but he's going to lose his life. Larry's able to take him off the board before getting
Trade!
Down from Poncho, puts us into a 3-3, into a 3-2. Silo, top frag, deleted. Now the defense holds up 52 seconds as they're looking to try to solidify a standard split here. The pressure onto Banana. They're going to take the swing, ready for it, finds one. Looking for a second onto the long table. Nobody there to answer. Hold up behind the castle barricade, behind the Kiba barriers, redefined the site here. Still have to contest with that Mira. Couple of shots. It's a 1v2 in a tough position to find yourself. Rotating towards Janitor. Takes a couple of shots. Nobody there. Looking for the second, but he's going to be caught.
That is the greatest moment in my life, bro. Yeah, honestly, you saw the bulletproof cams just pinging him out continuously. Zen Black had a ton of information on where the final attacker was trying to make his push in. So even though he's taking shot after shot, turn, fire, turn, it was not going to be. It was not going to work out for him. This defense had too much information, playing behind the mirror window, ultimately shutting this team down. And they pick up the standard split. It's a 4-2 half. And we're going to see the bans, but in reverse. The Cade and the Hibana both gone again, helping to boost that bank defense on both sides.
What's up, Naj? Welcome to the chat. Thank you for the Prime sub. 19 months in a row. Man, sometimes it seems crazy that we've been even going that long, right? Feels like just yesterday we cast that first scrim with Virus Gaming as we were trying to watch Pro play some Siege. This has been a crazy journey. Thanks, Naj. We appreciate you for hanging out, homie.
Going back to the scrim days, my friend. Yeah, I remember watching the XGS final in a hotel room as one of those first games that I got to watch, just starting to learn the game. And now sitting here with you, working on the XGS Rite of Passage Grand Final. You need to see which one of these two teams is going to walk away with, you said it, the crown, the ego, and the money between Zen Black and the Freezer. One map away for the Freezer. Zen Black needs to find a win here on Bank to force map 3, and that's Clubhouse waiting for us.
10 seconds to go.
Okay, time to switch gears. It's the op swap. You can see there, one hatch open, one closed. That means somebody's going to be playing life up on the top floor and basically holding on for as long as they can. The name of the game here is Stall City. Set the pace. Don't allow them to come in. But if they do, it's overwhelming. They collapse onto it. You've still got a plan B. You've still got an exit strategy to get back and still be a valuable member of the team later on in the round.
All right, yeah, you said it. Slow down City. Racky's going to be that guy playing the two brow. He's managed to pick up a few kills now at this point. 4, 5, and 5. Being supportive AF one more time in this round. You said it though, Zez still sitting at that 1 and 6, struggling to get anything going, but Silo has definitely picked up the slack on the defensive side. From Zen Black, man, they're sitting in the lead. Got that 4-2 split. Can afford to take a little bit of extra time here, running the utility, running that Twitch, trying to clear out some of this defensive utility as they try and make their way down. Gonna be able to use the can openers to open up these hatches, but got to move a little bit quicker. At first minute, already gone.
Yep, and you can start to see a few rotating back down towards side. They were 4 on the hold. They're still actually maintaining that as now zombies made their way back up into the open area as well. It's going to be Kobe, the lone survivor, sitting down on the basement area should the push go wrong. Minute and a half off the board. Whoa.
That was a funny overhead view we got.
On our camera, yeah.
Well, you know, Bank has got some of those interesting observer spots where you can really get out in the weeds or out in the buildings, walls as it was in this case. Yeah, you said it. Not very many of the defensive assets have made it all the way down into the basement. Now they have, though, as they've got 4 of the 5 at this point. And it's Zez playing on those blue stairs, just holding that thing on lockdown. And the open square hatch is still there, closed. So that's going to make it very difficult here for the Zen Black attack to try and make the push in. Look at this. There he pops the smoke, but Poncho wins that battle. And now it's free to open. That was a huge pick here for Zen Black.
And that's exactly what they were waiting for as well. Posturing outside of those blue stairs. They've opened up hatches. They've got positioning now, and now they've got one of your area denials off the board. Now, if the Twitches got in and able to take care of some of those Goyo canisters, which I think they did, they're going to find themselves in a good position to find themselves planting. Soft wall is going to be opened up with a pocket shotty as now first kill is going to go out onto Barry. Attackers find themselves in a little bit of trouble, but it's answered back. The silo goes down. The top frag of the defense gone.
Yo!
There it is again. C4 rings out, and Kobe Frozen both equal to find one. Down to a 1v3, and a C4 is going to say, good night, sleep tight, and it turns them into meat jello.
Yeah, the freezer just collapsing on that execute from Zen Black. Shut down. I know Naj said it. Backup positioning, yeah, even though they lost the top of blue stairs, they were able to completely contain the hatch drop, partially backed up by the DMR over in garage. We didn't really see Zen Black have any assets over on the garage side to try and shut any of that down. Left it wide open, allowed it to be covered, and then a pair of C4s in pocket. Yeah, you said it. Completely shut down that Zen Black attack. So now we get to see the tertiary site. Interestingly enough, as we head into round 8, they're not going to play the second floor here as the second place to go. They're going to go ahead and start on the tertiary.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a good call run, right? The second floor, you see it pretty standard, and you're going to hold it kind of the same way that you're going to be holding it for this first floor defense, right? You're still going to bring the castle and the mirror upstairs to put the pressure on holding on to that vertical, and this time you've got the pace setter in Clash and Fenrir to help hold down downstairs with that gadget, with that utility, effectively an Iron Curtain stopping anybody from the quick entry.
It'll be the big question of whether or not Zen Black can change up the attack, get it a little bit more spread out, put some more pressure on this freezer defense in varied and unique ways, or are they going to stay entirely one-dimensional and then get shut down? So one of the things we saw from map 1 was a lot of back and forth. Teams, really, both of these teams played significantly better on the defensive side of the map with a couple of moments of brilliance from the attackers, but in general, a little bit defensive-sided. And I'd say that's how we have seen Bank go as well. So teams, not being crazy from an attacking strat, just again taking advantage of those mistakes.
Well, tons of pace setters on the board run. It's going to be interesting to see how Zen Black is able to manage this, because it's necessary. You will have to take this top floor, and they're already putting some pressure onto the rappel. 2 of them sitting up there ready to get in should they be able to claim it, but no deployables down there. No keep barriers means they're going to focus on getting those castles opened up. Barry's able to find that first one, so main advantage early on is going to go into the hands of Zen Black. Pushing up onto the mirror, a little bit of pressure as that vector's ringing out, but able to take some really solid space. The C4 rings out, but Poncho's able to survive it, as now he's made himself into janitor. Now,
oh, he fails! What?
What? Ouch! Hello? Barry's able to answer back though. Kiwi gets taken down as Larry also is in that, or Jesus, as it is just honestly.
What is this chaos?
Down to a 1v2. Can't even call it. That is going by so fast. Silo, alone on an island, not able to get Kobe back up yet, just yet. The position on Marble going to be difficult to get the revive. He takes a couple of shots. He's going to push down, and Ymir is able to take him off the board.
All right, that was just chaos. Chaotic siege rather than strategic at this point. Zen Black picks up one. Just talking about how it seemed more defensive, but you said it. The trade's ringing out. could barely follow the score line at that point, and because it was just chaotic, it didn't really feel like it was a solid execute coming out from that attack. They just managed to win a couple of those gunfights. Unnecessary risks from the Freezer side on defense. Could have held on to some of those positions longer. Play behind the mirror, whatever the hell that was in Janitor, as Blackbeard loses that battle to Zez and then immediately dies. Yeah, just chaos, my friend. So, all right, as we're getting into, again, the meat of this XGS Rite of Passage Grand Final, who's gonna be the team that puts together a solid half, establishes a little bit of dominance going in? Are we gonna see this end on map 2, or Zen Black gonna come up, push hard here, and send us to Clubhouse?
No surgical precision on that entry run. They just went in there with machete and swinging, my friend. They come up with a win, but just barely. Honestly, it feels like it. Flanks recovered, site was surrounded. There was nowhere to hide. So to come up with a win there. The Freezer, they won that map number 1, my friend. So if we see it, we're going to head on to Clubhouse for a decider. And honestly, fingers crossed, I'm hoping for it. A little bit of activity here on the spawn peak. Nobody going to take a peek, though.
Yeah, they got close, and they knew that one of the defenders is holding that angle. Raki does the good job and backs off that. Made it into the coveted 666 spot, though, here on his score line. You can see Callie just opening up all of those sight lines, and just got to be careful. So close. Looked like he almost hit her elbow there, watching through the window, that takes out one of those drones instead.
And if I die to an elbow shot run, I might do that pretty deep.
Mental chalk.
That one will really grab you by the gob. Yeah, absolutely. 2 long-distance gunners here, though. They brought Glaz and Callie. And with that new rappel
Bye!
Good night! I was going to say, with that new rappel mechanic, you're able to traverse the corners and put yourself into some really fun, advantageous positions, but nothing advantageous about that one. Just deleted as he makes a run for it.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time not punching my monitor after that one if I'm Poncho. You're playing the DMR, you're playing the 12x scope of Callie, and you get fried through the window. Yeah, I mean, at least he got all of his utility out, worked the Callie lance, opened up all of those the castle barricades. So that's a ton of opportunity there for the attackers, opening up the sight lines, but not able to take advantage of it directly. It's going to have to be Kiwi running the glass to try and take a couple of those shots, but no way they're going to go for the same angle and let Zez do it again.
Man, I guess if they're just going to give them to you, go ahead and just line them up. Knock them back on down. That's 2 attackers gone off to the rappel. Now they start to push in towards the stock area. A couple of shots towards the top of desk, but nobody quite looking. Blackbeard just outside of that janitor area, but still has a mirror to contend with. Silo goes down. That's the top frag for the Freezer, so starting to feel a little bit better. Now into a 1v4 situation as Glaz is the left alive, and you know what? He's on the rappel. Only one place to go from here.
No way! That was a 4K for Zez, including 3 on rappel, 1 in the map. Man, the man was absolutely on fire, just dominating Zen Black single-handedly. We were talking about him having in the double-digit kill count on the previous map and was really struggling to get anything going here on Bank. Zen Black just decided to feed him, get him full and ready to continue this battle. Man, what was that?
I'm not sure, man. Honestly, the defenders were just unyielding, right? Normally it's like every angle is, potential death. Every corner is potentially a coffin, but this time it was just one, and he held it wonderfully. If you push him one by one, if you feed him, man's gonna eat.
All right, the change up here as we go into the next round of bans. We're going to see the Goyo and the Grim go down. Interesting pick. A Goyo, again, good call here as you try and fortify your basement attack, getting the Goyo off. That's a whole lot less utility you're going to have to try and clear, but the Grim's an interesting one. I didn't feel like Grim was such an important part of this Zen Black attack that they needed to make sure they got rid of the Grim. They didn't. I guess they took care of the Habana and the Ace, so you're left with making sure you can get the Thermite in play, but Frozen here is going to run the mirror. I'm thinking maybe they're going to try that same trick, put the mirror on the outside of that main breach down in server to make it difficult for the attacking team to open up. But they're going to look like lean into can openers as the primary opportunity rather than bring a thermite to the battle.
Attackers must locate and defuse the
Okay.
bomb.
5-4, one away from tying this up. Freezer with a little bit of some momentum into their hands. A little bit of lag here as we're getting this 10th round started. On the side of the attack, I like it. Larry, 8-8, bringing in with that Nook. We see some of that garage presence. I can catch them slipping there. Now they're just going to start moving in right into this second floor. Not very much drone time, right? It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. They've got an idea that somebody's over there. They've got the Red King starting to go out. Tubero going to slow the hatch down as they're holding on to this first floor.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought we might see, I thought we were going to see Silo take a little bit of damage playing his hand very aggressively upstairs, but they are going to be able to give up and allow the stock angle to happen and open up that hatch. Even though it got slowed down by the Tubero, eventually they are going to get that hatch open. So Larry holding on to this lobby cam. He's going to peek in, misses the shots though on a zombie. As Silo right now feels like he's everywhere, but not able to convert those into kills.
All right, a solid hold here, not being able to be moved just yet. They've gotten open some of those cuts and crosses. Really just about claiming some of this real estate, and honestly, just got to do it a little quicker than we've been seeing it. Still got the hold up onto the first floor out of the defense, but it's ghost pressure. Everybody's moved back down. So they're taking time, spending time getting the drones in. Now they've taken up that real estate. Now they can start putting some pressure on from a couple of other areas. The garage, Larry's down there on the hold. A little bit of a lurk play. Bringing the drones in. He's going to get some intel. Oh, maybe not. He got off just in time.
Once again, Silo playing the Azami is freaking everywhere, now putting pressure on the garage side. Did see a little switch up though in positioning with Tubero going to take up that position now and hold the long angle, but it feels like right now this Zen Black attack is moving it too slow. We are stacked all 10 players and it is the last 37 seconds.
All right, going to be a bloodbath. Now they start to move in and take some of that first floor territory, start to put some pressure onto the hatches. 26 as it starts to count down. Still nobody down into the basement. Still all up onto the first floor. Ymir has made it into server. Smoke starts to go off as they're going to block that hatch drop. A couple of shots ring out. Silo good for a couple as Barry goes down now into a 4-2 scenario. But we've seen this before. 10 seconds. Is it going to be enough time to pull it off? There's too much gadgets. There's too much util. There's C4.
What a miss!
But the shot from the vault. Kiwi's going to go down in a hell of bullets. Defenders are going to find one on time alone.
Oh, I mean, it may have finished in time, but that was honestly a win from Silo. 3K for him, in addition to a trade in his final moments. But the fact that he was upstairs putting pressure on this team, on the first floor, in the elevator, standing in the double by the beepers, then into garage. The man was freaking everywhere and pulls up with a 3K there. And then obviously Zez comes alive at the very end, and huge missed opportunity from Zen as he walks in from Vault to put some pressure on the defense and just kill those operators, but loses that sneak attack battle. But Silo, the real hero of that round, as the Freezer ties this thing up 5-5.
Right, and now one away from that match point scenario run, and if Freezer gets there, then that could start to be a little bit of that mental chalk, right? As they are only this map away from potentially taking it.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Really gonna lean into that slow down game as time has become that sixth man. Every second that they waste is another small victory for the defense, and they just need a couple of those strung together, and they find themselves on a match point scenario.
5 seconds to insertion.
The Freezers managed to pick up 3 rounds here on their defense. Like we said, this has been a very defensive grand final overall. Most of the rounds going to the defense at this point. The only round we did see the Zen Black attackers win was This first floor, open area office side. So again, their best opportunity, the tertiary site. That was a round that was just, you know, crazy chaos though. So I don't think we got a real good indication of how that one is going to go. This time though, they need to be way more disciplined. Use some of these defensive assets that they brought. They brought a ton of utility to this game. Deimos, the Blackbeard, you can hear the boogie drones going off right now, and the Flores. So they've got lots of util to open up some sight lines, open up the vertical. They need to use that and quick.
Couple of early action here. Okay. Vector gonna ring out.
Silo.
Barry. That's the Deimos gone, which means any sort of roam game that we got, well, they're gonna be a little bit more effective with Deimos gone. A little bit of damage onto Poncho and Ymir. Does see that body balance and health balance sitting into the hands of the defense currently.
Yeah, Silo having a hell of a game here as he's picked this thing up 15-8-2. Man, going crazy right now. Again, the opening kill on this one, that was taking down Barry or Vertzi, whichever way you want to go in this case. So, and top frag here from the Zen Black team. So, yeah, they managed to win. They managed to pick up a win here earlier in this round, but it does not look like it's going their way. Still a little early. One of the first times we're getting to see Clash played, though, as Clash has been banned on every other half so far.
I like it too. Just another deployable shield that shoots some bolts of electricity at you, give you a chance to get quick peek by Clash, and that's a mental chocker for sure. So, starting to slow down here for this attack team. They've taken some space. Nook now inside the archives area, wanting to put some pressure on. They've got all of the verticals. Everybody's rotated back down to that first floor. Need one here. Equalize. Start to get ready for an execute.
There's no C4s on the board here either from the freezer, so that's given the Zen Black team a huge boost. They're not going to have to worry about that late round explosion. All they got to worry about, Frozen in the Clash, and got two more smokes.
Larry's made his way in, but he's going to be taken off the board as the trade rings out. Now the pressure on the printer window starting to mount as the Blackbeard is going to find one. Silo, the top frag, taken down. A couple of answers back. Now into a 2v1.
Yo!
Ram going to try to get it on and save off this match point scenario. They're going to find it. It's a post-plant scenario, but you got the Clash pushing up. Could be just as equally devastating. Has to take the battle, but now that you can put the Clash
No
down,
way!
it's going to be an easy peek. Woo-hoo! They find it. Defense is going to continue their dominance and get themselves on a match point scenario.
Man, setting down the Clash shield and then peeking behind it, it was like we were watching a FET video play out in real time. Where we thought whether or not that was going to be a huge impact to the way that the game is played, and now we see why Clash has been banned like every single other half of this entire grand final so far. First time we got to see Clash. Huge impact to start off, and don't have the opportunity to ban her out. All the bans are in, so certainly we could see the Freezer run her one more time if they needed to, but man, that is 4 out of the last 5 rounds, 3 in a row, and they have certainly put Zen Black on the back foot. That's not just match point, my friend. It is match point, series point, and XGS grand final point.
Well, when you put it that way, it does feel like it's all on the line. Top frag Silo sits at 16-9, but everybody outside of that individual effort kind of all on that same footing. Everybody put in the work in here. Zen Black needs to be perfect for one round to send this into overtime. And they have to. Back up to the second floor run, and you said it. Can't ban Clash. We're bringing her back.
What a change up to bring her out, the wild card here at the end of this grand final. Potentially Zen Black. We said it, all the pressure is on you. You have got to come alive here on Bank. Yes, you lost your map pick. The Freezer here on defense, ready to shut this thing down. Can they pull it off? Gonna hold on to this second floor with Frozen playing the Clash one more time, and Zez has absolutely come alive at the end of this showdown. Picked up a couple of huge picks in the previous couple rounds, and Silo going crazy at 16-9-3. Zen Black, you have got your work cut out for you. everybody contributing, but man, not seeing the individual heroics we saw from Ymir early on in Lair. Maybe need to pick this up just a little bit. And what's this lineup they're going to bring? A little bit of combination of utility. Love seeing the Deimos. Larry and Barry, combination of quick entry with the Ashe and the shield from Blackbeard.
Yeah, Ymir coming alive definitely could feel part of that win con, right? But even if he aces, it's only going to take him to that even KD 8 and 8. Now, we saw him ace earlier, so the potential for it to go down absolutely is here, and they need something like that to step up right now. Already taken some space. Ashe has moved into square, looking for that early pick. A couple of cams taken down. Maybe trying to put some vertical pressure onto this Mira, playing inside a janitor so Blackbeard can come up and take that space a little bit freer. He's going to need some intel in here. Mira's looking for the drone. You can hear it. Rotero's going to force Clash back, but because it's not the deployable shield, she can pick that thing up and move it. She's going to remain an immovable force at the moment. The pinch is here. Window play. Not going to be able to take him down just yet. Picks the Clash shield back up, able to move into some more relative safety. Flashes ring out, but they're not going to be able to capitalize on that movement. Clash will stay.
Yeah, that combination of shield v shield play enabled them to be able to push Clash out, put some pressure on her, then throw a couple of Flores at her as well, but she's held on to this stock double, just really not letting the attackers gain any little bit of space. They're going to try and throw a little bit more utility at her, but with that shield still up, it's going to be very difficult. And then, oh no, Poncho and the Deimos goes down. That's the opening pick. Zen Black, the pressure is on.
Yeah, absolutely. Now they make their way in. Silo able to take Larry off the board, and that was going to be the pressure onto this Clash, and now it's going to be Flores in alone.
Oh, no!
1v1 with
No!
He's going to lose his life. Kiwi goes down. It's a 1v5, and in fact, we're going to get it done flawlessly. Sheesh. Freezer claiming 2. No third map to get it done. It was just stalled out. Zen Black just did not know what to do when it came to pushing off of their util. Clash flashed out several times. No movement. No push in from the stock windows. No push in from the top of square. Just allowed to exist and be a menace, and they paid the price for it. A little bit of tempo gone wrong for Zen Black.
Yeah, really, when it came down to it, the Freezer was just better when the pressure came on. So they win just barely on Lair in an 8-7 double overtime victory, and then come alive at the very end of this map in what was a defensive stronghold, winning 5 of the last 6 rounds to shut down Zen Black on a great bank overall. There was some crazy moments for sure. A slugfest style of siege rather than that real strategic, careful siege that we see sometimes, which honestly made it a little bit of fun here to close out the XGS Rite of Passage Grand Final.
Yeah, absolutely. If you want to see some of those highlight moments, go ahead and head over to the Siege Double Shot YouTube or TikTok, where we try to display your talents that are showcased here on the stream. Something like that berry-flavored 4-piece will definitely be on there. The Ymir Ace. Like, all of your special moments you can go ahead and find over at YouTube for our replayed matches, or TikTok for some of those special highlights. And speaking of going and following, we got a couple of places that you can get involved in the action with the Siege Double Shot. Find us on X. I'm at glitter_whiskey. He is at racing ENGR, and together we are the Siege Double Shot. If you want to join us in the Discord, play a little rank, we've got Comper to Champ and a little bit of competitive in between. Just head over to discord.gg/doubleshot. You can come hang out with us. Your one-stop shop for everything R6, T4 to T1. We have got you covered, my friend.
Yeah, great game. Big GG's obviously there to the Freezer. Frozen and his squad coming up big after defeating 42 teams, making it all the way. We said Zen Black looked like the team to beat, unbeaten in the playoffs until it came down to the finals, where they were shut out 2-0 in this best of 3 that only needed 2, my friend. You guys played a good game, but congrats to the Freezer for winning XGS.
That's right. Just want to say a special shout out and thank you to Rennie and Unnamed Gamer for doing all of our observing tonight. And thank you for XGS for allowing us to host the grand finals here on the Siege Double Shot. And also, thank you to you guys. Thank you for the subs and the follows. We hit 6,900 follows on the Twitch. Feels like a real milestone here for a couple of guys who just love to talk about Siege. But that's it. We've done it. We wanted 3, but it was over in 2, and we have crowned our kings. The Freezer takes it with a big GGs that rain out in the all chat. But now, for us, alas, we must bid you adieu. So as the lights start to dim and the jukebox starts to sing closing time, as always, my friends, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Ayo.
Let's go.